Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Didn't I tell you for so many times that the Russians and the Americans are communicating behind our backs, or everybody's backs? And didn't I say that this Ukraine war is actually a controlled war? Because you can't have a war where you say, hey, I'm going to give you these weapons, but you use them only as far. You can't, no, you don't use them further than that. And the other guys are going to do only that, but no further than that. But no, we don't communicate with you. We just provide you with weapons. And the Russians are doing, I think it's a controlled war. The Russians are saying, okay, if you do this, we're going to do this. Like communication, but behind our backs. Now I have here an article that actually is more than that. It seems like the US, obviously they are in charge. They are, if you wanted to be honest, stabbing Ukraine in the back. If this would be a real relationship, as they try to convince us that there's a relationship which is Ukraine alone fights Russia alone, and these guys are just helping, and it's all Ukraine's decision, entirely Ukraine's decision. Well, it's not like that. It's not Ukraine's decision, it's someone else's decision. It has been since the beginning, and the beginning was about 2008 or something like this, and then you got 2013, then you got 2014, and you got 2022. So what happened? Here is an article from from New Voice of Ukraine actually, and the Ukrainians are not happy about it, but they can't do anything because they are on the payroll, so they should zip it and take it deep. Not a deep breath, take it deep. That's what I mean. So, U.S. State Department says Biden administration does not sanction unofficial talks with Russians. Now, unofficial is whatever they consider to be unofficial, okay? Now, this is Mr. Lavrov. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration did not sanction or support secret meetings between former top U.S. national security officials and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, along with other Russians, Reuters reported on July 6th. You see, things are like this. Former. If you're former, what do you have to speak with Lavrov? In what capacity? Okay, don't get tangled on this and former, okay? Say, oh, it's former, they're unemployed. Poor guys are just calling Lavrov on his personal cell, and they ask about the family dog, and the vacation. Really? Okay? Secret. The no sanctions secret meetings between former top U.S. officials, national security officials. Who might that be? Anyway, and I'm quoting, the Biden administration did not sanction those discussions, a State Department spokesperson said in response to questions from Reuters. And I'm quoting, as we've said repeatedly, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. That's what they say, you know. This is for Reuters. As we said nothing, but behind, we got secret meetings that we don't sanction. No, we don't agree with them. We don't even know they exist. Let's put it this way. The spokesperson said the administration would continue providing weaponry to Kiev so that Ukrainian officials can negotiate from a position of strength when they think the time is right. All of this, I don't believe anything about this. I can tell you right here, that's all I believe. This is not, I don't believe. I believe this, that the Biden administration would continue providing weaponry to Ukraine, so Ukrainian officials, maybe that's it. Ukrainian officials do what they're told. The rest can negotiate from a position of strength when they think is the right time, when they get the hint. A group of high-ranking former U.S. national security officials conducted clandestine talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. A group of high-ranking former U.S. national security officials. In what capacity, I might add? What capacity, we're not told. And other well-known Russians associated with the Kremlin, U.S. news outlet NBC News reported on July 6. The discussions were reportedly aimed at establishing a foundation for future negotiations on ending Russia's war against Ukraine. So either these guys are stabbing the U.S. government or these guys are stabbing the US government and the Ukrainian government in the back, or these guys right here, former blah blah blah, with the US government are actually playing double. Or they don't play double, but that's the reality. Actually behind all that is these guys. Not Biden and these guys. Biden might be told by those guys. Maybe those are the emissaries. The real emissaries of the real deal behind all that. And Biden administration said, well, we're not, but how in the hell can they have contact with the Russians like that? Remember when it was that, who was he? General, can't remember the name of that guy. He was supposed to be appointed by Trump. Trump was not sworn in yet, and he was supposed to appoint this general. I can't remember his name. I think Joint Chief of Staff or something like that, Secretary of Defense. Can't remember the name. And he had contact with the Russian ambassador. And then he was interviewed by FBI, and he lied, and he did not know that was and he got all. What was his name? Anyway, not a guy that I liked anyway, so I have nothing for the. But I'm saying they consider that like, oh my God, you negotiated with the Russians. What's wrong with that? Let's talk to you, FBI, about that and others. And these guys are conducting, I would say, negotiations. They call it differently. That it's so weasel, clandestine talks, and they do this to establish a foundation for future negotiations. Unbelievable. They're getting the path ready. That's what they do. They keep it warm, the bed warm, so they can go in and that's all they do. And nobody has any problem with those people that are not even, in the government. They're just former. How? And you make contact with an official, a Russian high-ranking official. If I would call, let's say I have a conversation with Lavrov, what do you think will happen to me? And why? Since those are just, private citizens, former. What if I'm a private citizen, a former, okay? They are not, and if they're former, they have their own mission and they're all that. Not like me or you or, regular people. So anyway, my friends, I knew, and I said it many times, these guys are negotiating, talking behind the scenes, as they did in the Soviet times as well, during the Cold War. They were communicating all the time. And they said, don't do this, we're going to do this. And we didn't know about it. We found out later. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.